Hello everyone, welcome back to another exciting Vanillasoft admin video. Today's topic, we are going to be covering how to look up your calling queues or view your routing queues of your various admissions reps. You're going to want to do this on a daily basis to give yourself an idea of how many leads are in queue. And you want to get an early jump on certain reps if they're starting to run low on leads. The idea is that we don't want reps to run out of leads and then you're scrambling to try to find them some leads. So we want to be proactive. So here I've already logged in, and again, making sure that I'm on the admin side, not the caller side. So you're only going to see one or potentially two projects. Here I have them all, but I'm going to select Lawrenceville to demonstrate. I'm going to go to the black bar and we're going to go, what we're looking for is workflow routing right here. Now I'm going to let that submenu drop down and I'm going to scroll down to view routing queue. I'm going to simply click that and it gives me a drop down menu of all of my reps, and I can choose various reps to take a look at their routing queues. And down at the bottom, if I wanted to view the routing queues by team, I could do that as well. I don't find that as helpful. Honestly, I would rather you, or I would strongly suggest that everybody simply looks up their routing queues by name. So for this demonstration, we're just going to select a rep. In this case, we're going to go to Sandra Wilson, and we're going to take a look at what leads she has in her routing queue. We see here that she only has 21. She is in the call center leads team. So for the day, she is running fairly low. Now, it is late at night when I'm doing this video, so they could be running short of leads simply because of the time of day. So, but this is something that you would want to take a look at. You would want to see that somebody is, running low on leads, and you would want to give a heads up to either myself, Joe Sago, or Brian Marshall or Samantha Shaden to find some more leads to dump into your queue. The question always comes up is how much is enough? Honestly, if you're working in the call center leads team, you're looking at, you probably should have a queue somewhere of about 100 in the morning. If you got a queue of about 100, you're probably not going to run out of leads. If you're lower than that and you push your people to make a lot of phone calls, then potentially you could have a lot more. So on this screen, obviously I see added date when the lead was added to the system. I have a contact ID number that I can click and bring the lead up. The contact's name, other obvious pieces of information. I can see who owns it. So I can see Sandra is working some leads that don't have ownership. So this lead, for example, Moses here, Moses could be worked by anybody in the call center leads team because it does not have a contact owner. This PDR right here is owned by Sandra, so only she would get that. It's only going to appear in her routing queue. So as we look at a routing queue, we see some leads that are not owned, and they're just going around the queue to the next available rep. And then obviously you have a bunch of leads that she does own. It tells you what team the lead is currently in. This gives you the last date the lead was worked. This is the last result code that was used with the lead. And this is how many times the lead was called. The last two columns you don't need to worry about. So we can simply go take a look at another person in the group. We can go to Sherry Pratt, and we can see she has a larger queue, not much larger. She's got 30 leads, but again, the caveat to this being it is late at night, so we would want to see in the morning, we would want to see this be up around 100 leads. And as you can see, Moses is also in her queue because Moses is not owned by anybody in Vanillasoft, so it routes to whoever is available. Now, if this pops up on Sherry's screen, it will then be pulled from the queue, and nobody else would be able to work Mr. Moses. Let's do one more, and let's make it a team. You can also then look at specific teams. So, for example, they have a high school team, basically a bucket of high school leads, and they do not assign a lot of their high school leads. So they should have quite a few in queue. And as you can see, they have a lot of high school leads in queue. They have almost 282. So what they do in Lawrenceville is they tell people to go into the high school team to work high school leads. They don't have a high school telemarketer or anything like that. You may have that at your school, and if that's the case, then that's great. But they do not, so they put people in. So when they put people into the high school team, these are the leads that are scheduled to be routed to them. So you see most of them have already been worked at least one time already, but you do have some down here at the bottom that have not been worked yet. And there's some new stuff, and some older things that they never got to. The thing with these calling queues for these teams is if you constantly put new leads on top, sometimes you don't get to the ones that you have not worked. So, for example, these here that have not been worked, they were probably uploaded, and then a bunch of new stuff got loaded up on top of them, and they just haven't been able to get through their calling queue. So it's a good way of looking at what is ready to be worked at any given time. And that's about it for calling queues. This is something that you would want to do on a daily basis. And remember, don't wait until a queue is empty to let somebody know that you need more leads. You want to raise that red flag immediately. Until next time,